here today with Eddie Geller, CEO of Tinybeans. Eddie, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Are you able to share a little bit of the history and what is Tinybeans?
Sure. So Tinybeans, we started in 2012, originally out of Australia. And really, it's a really simple way in which millennial parents are using the app to be able to capture everyday memories of their kids. And through that experience, they can share that selectively with families all over the world. So some people describe us as like a private social network or social network for families. And what's really powerful is that parents own all the memories that they had and they get to control, they get to see it. So it's a really simple way to do that. I moved over to the US in 2014 because our goal was really to build out a global business out of the US, and most of our users today are in the US for that reason.
And for those who haven't been following the story, what are some of the milestones they should have seen?
Sure. So I guess, we recently hit 3 million registered users a few months ago, so it's really exciting. And what's even more exciting is that most of that audience came through word of mouth. So basically mums telling mums, dads telling dads, and it really shows you sort of the impact we have on them, that they're telling other people. So that's a significant milestone for us over the last couple of months. We've also been able to really grow revenues substantially in the last 6 months also. We announced recently to the market our first half of financial year, we hit 1.67 million revenue, which is almost as much as we did the whole year prior. So our revenue is really growing, and between sort of the user base and our revenue focus, there's some of the key things I think that investors should be aware of.
And how about scaling the business and pushing through profitability?
For us, it's all about ensuring that what we do for our users ensures that they stay on the platform and keep coming back, right? So always about adding value to that. So the more times they're on the platform, the more ways we can monetize. 70% of our revenue comes from advertising. So for us, it's really been focusing on what are the things we have to do on the platform to keep them coming back and for us to advertise and service them even more. So for us, it's about focusing on the advertising, and that's growing quarter on quarter. Between Q1 and Q2 this financial year, we grew at 80% alone, just the advertising. That's going to continue to grow quarter on quarter. And because our cost base is now fixed, we've been focused on the monetization. The margins are sort of roughly 80% of these types of revenue lines. Our focus is to get to cash flow break even this calendar year. So it's really exciting that as the revenue grows, we don't have to scale the cost base at all. We can scale the audience and the revenue of the current cost base and really be around the corner when it comes to cash flow break even.
People must look at other social platforms as a natural competitor to you. How do you compete, but also how do you differentiate yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a couple things there. First of all, a lot of the social platforms out there and generic tools for sharing, they're all generic. You could use it for your old uni buddies, you could use it for work, you could use it for other people around the world. But Tinybeans is only about your kids. So it's only focused on your kids' memories. Number two, it's really technology agnostic. I mean, we appreciate grandparents are everywhere, great-grandparents, and they're not necessarily au fait with tech. So the way it works is that mums sign up with the app typically, they'll set up an account, they invite their families to it, and then automatically an email is sent to the grandparents and family members every day of all the memories for that day. They don't have to set up an account, they don't have to download anything in terms of a logging in or an app or anything. And the parents love the fact that you don't need to set up anything sophisticated for the grandparents to be in on it. And even through the email, they can comment and love and be part of the experience. So because of that, it's really simple. And the second part of what makes Tinybeans unique is the privacy. So we talk about this Tinybeans promise, where all users, the way it works is they own all the information they add. They control who gets to see it, and will never sell the data, which is actually the anti-version of everything in big social. So really, for us, it's all about empowering the millennial to go, hey, you control all this. You get to decide, not like the way social networks have been. So they've really seen, as everyone knows, sort of the media landscape in terms of privacy and big social and the challenges there. We bet very early on in privacy, and it's now starting to really accelerate, and people realize actually privacy is an important thing. And I think because of those reasons, we clearly differentiate over those other platforms.
And looking forward, what should investors be focused on from Tinybeans?
Absolutely. So for us, it's all about ensuring that we're focused on revenue growth, sustainable revenue growth. So how do we generate recurring revenue streams? But our focus on getting to cash flow positive is really, in our mind, the starting point. It's like we've built out a great audience, we've started the journey, we've validated the business model. Now it's about scaling it. Our ambition is to get to hundreds of millions of users. We believe that there's an opportunity out there that can service millions of parents and grandparents. In the US alone, there's 100 million parents and grandparents. we only have 3 million, right? So there's huge, the sky's the limit with opportunity. So investors can appreciate, growth of revenue is a key thing, growth of audience, growth of our unique data set, new brands being signing up to the platform to then target these users on the platform. So there's a whole bunch of very exciting milestones as we build out the platform that will drive revenue growth and clearly cash flow positive natures that will enable investors to really hopefully get part of the journey and be excited by the returns they may get one day in the future.
A great company, tiny by name, not by ambition. Exciting times ahead. Eddie, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much for having me. Thanks, David.